Somebody in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on by Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! And then trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there!
Not got it clear. Please, it's a cracker!
Armstrong, played in again, and a superb goal!
Tony Goody! Stockport County are the champions of League Two!
Hello and welcome to this week's The Scarf Bagara War with me, Russ Johnson. I'm joined by Andy and Waggy. You okay, boys?
Yes, I'm
Very
all
good,
right
thank
this
you.
week. I'm all good, thanks.
Yeah, all good. Tired, busy week. Weather's sunny. Yeah. Go on, sorry.
Yeah. Nice, isn't it? Nice. Don't interrupt me, Andy. It's the introduction bit. Jesus Christ!
I'm just trying to get it in before you do one.
Before my internet packs in. We're having internet problems in Bredbury at the moment. Not generally, just my house, just my laptop. So it seems. So I might have to drop off and come back on. Yes, it's playoffs week. That's right, isn't it?
Playoffs week, yes.
Yes.
It's bloody brilliant. That's what it is. And for all the audio listeners, I was rubbing my hands. We are here. Yes.
Get in. I mean, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We've got a packed show. We're going to talk about the playoffs, talk about Wycombe on Saturday. Look forward to Leyton Orient, the two matches. We're going to be coming to you live on Thursday next week, obviously because we're playing Wednesday. And we've got a very special fan guest. In fact, I don't think he is a fan guest. I'm going to elevate him and promote him to special guest.
Special fan guest or just special guest?
The special fan guest is a new category for this podcast. He's got his own category. He's going to be the first one in that category. Special fan guest. How about that?
What was I then?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, yeah. Yours was a different special. Yours had inverted commas.
Stalker of the show.
Yes.
So yeah, I think. Well, what have you been up to, boys? Apart from enjoying the sun, and are you enjoying the week? Has it been a bit stressful leading up to these playoffs? Or you're on the, I suppose you're on the positivity train, aren't you? We need a bit of realism, don't we?
We're both nodding. Of course, we're on the positivity train. We've been on the positivity train all season. We said we'd be here at the beginning of the season, and you said maybe not. But now we're here.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because me and Waggy both said we'd get second, and we were confident of finishing second. And before, when you asked the question, we're both doing our synchronized nods and smiles at the exact same time. But as the season's progressed, and we didn't finish second. We've got the next best thing. We finished third. We've got that home leg in the second. So we've got the home tie in the second leg. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Saturday. I'm excited about the second leg. We've got the prospects of Wembley. But you know what? Again, and I'm not being negative, but if we don't get to Wembley, I'm looking forward to next season being an established League One side, which surely one of the favourites with everything that's going on around us. And then even if we do get to Wembley and it doesn't happen, I'm still looking forward to next season in League One. It's such a crazy feeling to really want to go up, but really equally satisfied if we don't. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. As you say, we've got nothing to... If we stay in League One, we stay in League One. We bring 2 or 3 players in, or 4 or 5 players, as they generally seem to be doing. And then, we push again, don't we? Get for them autos. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good either way. Obviously, now I want Wembley, and I want us to win at Wembley. It's been too long since we've won at Wembley, and it's about our time.
Yeah.
Fair dues. Fair dues. Can't argue with any of that. Shall we get our fan guest out, and then I can swap connections while you speak to the fan guest for a minute?
Special fan guest.
Yes, special fan.
Special fan guest. Sorry. Special fan. It's a new concept. Just got to get used to that. Special fan guest. Special fan guest. It's only Hattering Mark Gareth, who writes the official match reports for County. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Good evening, Russ. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Wow. I have a question, Russ.
Go on.
You just said you're going to switch out something to do with your Wi-Fi. Have you done that?
No.
All right, I was going to say, because if you've done it that fast, then flipping it, it'd take me half a day to figure out what I'm doing.
He's in IT. He knows how to turn things off and on quickly.
He just knows how to do it. He just does it.
What we'll do, guys,
Go on, Russ.
we'll ask you your debut questions. Then we'll talk about the whole situation that is County at the moment, how you're enjoying it, and then towards the end we'll cover yourself and what you do at the club today and how long you've been doing it, which is, I think, is a long time.
Yep, sure.
So your first game, if you can remember it.
I did have to check the date, but I knew the year. 1988, November the 11th, actually. Home to York in the old 4th Division. And everyone will know from my accent that I'm not Stockport born and bred, but I'm from Brighton originally. But I'd moved up to the area, and I've lived around here all my adult life now. Anyway, I was a bit of a loose end, wanted to see a footy match, and liked the idea of County playing on a Friday night, which this match was. So along I went, and I hadn't planned my trip very carefully. I mean, nowadays I'm in the stadium 2 hours beforehand, setting up in the press box and all the rest of it. I got there about 2 minutes after kickoff, and I'm at the what was the old Cheadle End. Well, before it was a big stand, it was a little terrace, and thought I'd go and stand there. Got into the turnstile. As I did, the ball went in the net at the Cheadle End, and I said to the guy on the turnstile, "Oh, we've scored, have we?" and he just gave me a withering look, and he said, "Don't be so daft." He said, "Of course we haven't." And of course York had got an early goal, but we came back and we won 3-2, and the winning goal was scored by a 20-year-old Brett Angel, and I thought, now that's a good name for a footballer. I thought, and he looks like he's got something about him. He's big and gangly, but he looks a bit like a bit of a prospect. This was before Bagara was there, Danny Bagara. Ace Hartford was player manager at the time. So County were no great shakes, but I just liked the atmosphere. I stood on the Cheadle End. There was a lot of world weariness going on around me, in the chat and the chants and what have you. I quite like this, really. So I went back, and I think it just sort of gets under your skin. And you talk to a lot of people who haven't perhaps been taken along to County by their own families, but they've just discovered them themselves. I remember talking with Kenny Boxall. He had an exactly same sort of experience. I mean, I don't know if you've had Kenny on here, but he used to be a policeman, and he used to be at matches, and he wasn't a County fan, but he became one by just soaking up the atmosphere and the feel of the place. So that was the first match. County finished just above the real, well, it wouldn't have been the re-election places, the relegation spot that year. I think they're about 20th. And then the following year, but at the end of that season, Danny Bagara had actually come in and finished with a series of draws. But after that, of course, the rest was history, really, at least for the 90s.
Yeah, good stuff. Brilliant. So, if you don't mind me asking, what brought you up to Stockport from the Brighton area?
Work and a girlfriend. So
Oh, right. Well, that's usually why we move around, isn't it?
yeah. The usual excuses. Yeah. But settled initially in Disley, and sort of lived all around ever since. Now settled, as you know from my moniker, I'm Macclesfield based now, but never gone far away from. I've still got an SK postcode.
Yeah, good stuff. We've already got a comment in. Gazendo says, "Thought we lost 3-2." Gazendo's usually pretty spot on with these things.
Right.
So
there was
What was that?
Nigel Hart, Skull for us, Bob Colville the second, and Brett Angel the third.
right, sweet.
Are we having a score off?
No, I was just thinking because I think York was my first game, wasn't it? When in '91, which was around that same time in October, because Gazendo gave me the program from my first game when I went back in '91, and I think that was 3-2. So maybe he's just getting his Yorks mixed up.
Yeah.
It's been a while, it's a fair few years ago. So
it is. Yeah. What's happened since then?
Fair dues. Right. So you've seen a lot of games, a lot. I think at one point you were top of the league on Footballogy or something. I remember seeing your name on there.
Oh yeah, until Phil Brennan got involved and started remembering all the games he'd been to, and then there's another guy, I think, Nigel. That's Nigel as well. Yeah. Yeah,
I think there is, isn't there? I was checking it before, but I didn't really quite catch the name. So out of all them, which one's been your favourite game?
Can I have two? Can I have one from one league and one cup?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
My favourite league game was the match against Carlisle, where Jim had steered us to safety almost.
Right.
And so it's just May 2006. I know for a fact it was a 0-0 draw. And Carlisle, of course, were champions. They thrashed us 6-0 at Brunton Park earlier in the season. And, it was a really tough match for us to have, even though they'd been confirmed as champions. But we held on, and then we had to await the result of Leighton Orient against Oxford, I think it was, and Orient scored late on, I think, to put Oxford down in place of us. And I've never known such tension and such relief at a game. And that, I do love the jeopardy at games, and that for me was absolutely amazing feeling after we looked completely dead at Boxing Day when we'd lost at Mac. And the other thing I remember about that Carlisle game is the way that the fans from both clubs sort of spilled over onto the pitch and sort of shook hands with each other. And it was because they were happy, they were in party mode, and we were just ecstatic because we stayed up. So yeah, I think that it's an odd choice perhaps because it wasn't a great victory, but it was such an achievement to have secured league football for another season. And then of course we had a couple of decent seasons after that. In knockout competitions, I think my favourite was when we went down to Southampton during the League Cup run in 1997, and won the replay at the Dell. Letitia had given them an early lead, and then Alan Armstrong and Andy Much got the goals. Second half, the Dell was a compact little ground, great atmosphere. I can't remember how many county fans were there, but there were quite a lot for a midweek match and a very long distance to travel. And that actually, we were talking before that we went on air about seasons where we've attended every games, and that for me was 96-97 was the first season I attended every single game in every single competition. And I also, it was the first time I actually wrote about going to watch county as well. And I did a piece actually for a work magazine at the university where I worked at the time about the League Cup run, and I think the joy of beating Southampton, a club that had been the nearest top division club to where I grew up, I thought that was just sensational, absolutely sensational. And so that was my. I think those are my two fave games.
Brilliant choices. I mean, the Southampton away is my favourite game ever. So I was there. I was one of those people that were there on those hardy souls.
We probably hugged at some stage without knowing it.
Possibly. But I remember the Carlisle one because they packed their end out, didn't they? And even after the match, after we'd all stayed up, and I think if I'm right in saying it was probably one of the last matches where we had that jeopardy where people still had radios to their ears. Yeah, because mobile phones hadn't really taken off by that point. Well, certainly mobile phones had, but not with like the scores on them. Do you know what I mean?
People were listening to radios. That's right. I think they'd stuck. I think they put Carlisle on the pop side for that match from memory. They'd given.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think so. I'm fairly sure they did. Because I was a displaced pop side season ticket holder, and I was stuck up in the main stand. I mean, I know it's still a thing today about displacing yellow block season ticket holders. We felt quite strongly about that at the time, but we thought, well, we just got to go along with it, really. And so it was. We were all sort of clustered together after the final whistle in the main stand. Just some bloke had a radio nearby us, and Orient got one against Oxford, and of course it all started filtering through. It was funny because there didn't seem to be false rumours flying around. Unlike I don't know if any of you went to the Halifax game in the early 90s when we under Bagara, when we were hoping to get out the 4th division. And it looked like we might go up, but there were rumours going around that Southend were getting beaten, and they turned out to be rubbish. So we sort of extremely deflated after that experience.
Yeah, you can't get that anymore, can you? Rumours aren't a thing. It's like everyone's got it in their hand, haven't they, these days?
Yeah. Well, it's like when when the Glenn Taylor goal went in for Spennymoor, the crowd knew about it before we knew about it in the press box. Really, we were like, what's going on about over there? And there was this ripple of murmuring that went into some sort of great cacophony of loudness in the tree glen, and that was it. Yeah.
But there was a fake clap or fake cheer within that game, though, as well, wasn't there?
Wasn't it something to do with FC United or something? I can't remember. But in that game where Chorley were playing Spennymoor, I remember there being a fake where a group of fans started a fake cheer, and then everyone quickly checked the phones, cheering at the same time, and then realised it was a fake one. But
but didn't they get a penalty? Didn't they have a penalty saved in that game?
They had a penalty saved, yeah.
So wasn't it that they'd got the cheer went up for the penalty, but it got saved? So was it not that, or was it genuinely a fake one, Andy?
Stop pissing on me, Chips Waggy. Just go with it.
Okay.
There was a penalty saved. We owed the Spenny one as well. Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can remember when it comes to previous matches. So just give me the moment.
No, it was definitely a fake one. Thank you, Matthew Brady. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, favourite goal then?
I thought long and hard about this because there's been some crackers over the years. But I think the one that probably meant the most to me was probably the Wembley game I remember the least about, and that was the Kevin Francis's goal against Port Vale, just because the county fans scored it. Really, the noise that we started making after going 2-0 down against Vale. This was in the I guess Johnson Paints or it would have been in the Autoglass back in those days. 2-0 down at half time. We weren't really looking up for it, and someone somewhere started a Danny Bagara's Blue and White Army chant, which grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. County started playing a bit, and Kev scored the goal. We didn't win. We lost 2-1, but it was again one of those moments of unbridled joy, really, that it wasn't as memorable as some of the other Wembley appearances for all sorts of reasons. Some of them are memorable for bad reasons, as well as good. But yeah, I think that was my favourite goal because we were part. It was all the county family, and as well as the county legend who got it as well.
Excellent.
Nice.
And finally, favourite player. You can have past and present if you want.
Past, Lewis Cavaco.
Nice. Yeah, don't think we've had Lewis before.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't here for very long, but he was absolutely sublime. Particularly again, it was the season I saw all the games in 96, 97. His solo goals at Brentford in the league and West Ham in the League Cup were absolutely astonishing. And the West Ham one, of course, earned us a replay. I think, and if someone may sort of log in and correct me on this, I think he only scored about 5 goals for County, and they were 2 of them. But he just had such a presence on the pitch. When he got the ball, you always felt he was going to do something, and he just seemed a lovely fellow as well. And he broke his leg the following season, and he continued for a little while, but it was never the same player again. But for the time he sparkled, he was something really, really special. And for my present player, and I think he's work in progress, but I think Andresen's got the makings of a cult figure. All my family love him. They think he's fab, and he just sort of comes on, does what he does on, like he did on Saturday, and he for a player that was plucked from real obscurity, he looks like a fabulous prospect. He really does. He's a real instinctive finisher, and I've never seen anyone latch onto headers like he does either. And he seems to love playing for us, and he's already got his own chant and the Icelandic clap. And I think the future looks bright for him. And I don't even think we're expecting him to make the senior squad this season. So just to experience training with him. So he's made a great start and one to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he excites the life out of me. Really does. Just with all the different kind of goals he could score, he seems like a proper number 9, doesn't he?
Yeah. Feet, head, and he really seems to really just seems to enjoy being out on the pitch. It's always nice to see a player like that.
And he just seems to find space where there shouldn't be any and get into the right positions, doesn't he? The positions that he's finding, as you say, to score them goals. But the one on Saturday, I was like, how can he be stood in the 6-yard box with nobody around him to be able to touch it and shoot?
and he turned and then he hit it with such venom. I had a different view of it from you guys, because I was sort of side on. I think, wow, he's really well at that, and great, got us back in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Some good choices there. I like it. Some different choices as well. Love it. So obviously you're here for the duration of the show. We're going to talk about the Wycombe match next. I know the lads did it on the Courtyard Club Call. That's still available to watch if you want to go and listen to that. If you want to go and listen to that a bit more in depth than we're going to do it now. But Andy, me and you went. Do you remember any of it, Andy? Did you see the goals, Andy?
I saw all the goals. Every single one. I do remember most of the game. I was on an away day, wasn't I? So, and in fairness, I didn't actually have that much to drink. I had a few, but the night before, me and my wife and a few friends were out in Stockport, so we didn't get in till 2:30 that morning. And then I was up again at 7:00 because I was being picked up by my brother Jamie. So I was kind of just topping up, So I was a little bit. I think I went to hangover stage about 4:00. So the best thing to do was just to carry on and go through. But yeah, cracking game. I didn't realise Connolly even started, to be fair. So yeah, I did miss a couple of bits, but then I didn't look at the team sheet before. I literally just arrived at the game, And then there was a bit of a whatever with the seats, and we'll go into that on my getting the reses. But I don't necessarily agree with what Jimmy said in the Courier Cup call, because I don't remember us playing badly. Jimmy said that we played poorly in the first half. I don't remember us play. I thought we were quite on top. I thought we had more shots on target. I agree with them what they were saying about I didn't see with their high press, which is what Dave Challoner was referring to. But I don't think we played that badly. I just think that at the moment, when we go a goal down, it seems to make us kick on another gear. So I'm quite relishing the fact of being a goal down, because when we go first and get a goal up, we seem to drop off and don't play as well. So if us going a goal down, and I know it's not nice, we don't like it, but if we go a goal down, I'm not worried now, because we're finding different ways. And that second half was just... Somebody messaged me on the 68th minute saying, I bet you're nervous, aren't you? And I just said, no, because it's just a matter of when. Every time we come forward, and I said it the last time I was on the show, after what game was it? The other game that we went a goal down, two goals down, wasn't it? Lincoln. I said after that game, it's not a case of we're 2 goals down or 1 goal down. It's just a matter of when we're going to score. And every time we went forward, it was just a matter of when, not if. It's just brilliant. And I've said it after the game, my favourite away game this year and for a few years.
Yeah, one of mine as well, because it was in some way, I know there was a little bit at stake in terms of playoff finishing positions, but otherwise it was, it was always in danger of becoming a little bit like a testimonial, wasn't it, or a friendly. And yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Andy. I think County had a sort of an okay spell early on, created a couple of chances, but it was the general feel of the first half was just 2 teams going through the motions a bit, and then Wycombe scored. but that 11 minutes to score 3 goals, and 2 of them, I mean, obviously one a very good penalty as well in between, but the other 2 were strikes of real quality, weren't they? It was sumptuous stuff. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got to half time and I just thought, I spoke to Jimmy and his daughter, and I just said to them, I said, it feels like it should be 0-0. There was no way that I thought they were 1-0 better than us at half time. So it was, and it was I wouldn't say it was a poor goal to concede. It was preventable. I mean, they're all preventable, aren't they? But I think that was probably more so than not. So I just felt like in half time, yeah, we should have been 0-0. And then I always felt like in the second half, we would go on to win it. I know you just mentioned there about it being a sort of testimonial feel. It was, but do you not find that quite strange? Because you're still playing for third. That third spot was so important to get the favourable draw in the playoffs, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that really struck me was, and you'll have all been at the bonfire night massacre when they came up to Edgeley Park. And they looked absolutely out of this world. Wycombe did, tore us apart and left us, briefly scarred before we went and beat Bolton by the same score. But they looked really, really impressive that night. And I thought, they're nothing like they were.
No, but same players though, same personnel, was it?
Apart from they
generally
didn't
speaking,
they didn't have Richard Kone playing. He'd been rested or left out as a
precaution.
Yeah, he was their star player against us. Then is it Humphreys as well? One of the loanees who's pretty good. But yeah, I mean there was quite a bit of overlap, and they just didn't look the same team at all. And certainly the Wycombe media guys and the few fans I spoke to, home fans spoke to, they feel absolutely crushed by the end of their season. I said, well, at least you made the playoffs. They said, yeah, but we're going to go to Charlton now and get absolutely ripped apart. They just lost all confidence.
Yeah, it did to me. It seemed and then you said it on comms because I watched it. I watched it in Belgium. Popped over to Belgium to watch it and they basically on the comms they were saying it felt like a pre-season friendly because it was nice and sunny and everything like that. It just seemed as if Wycombe didn't have anything to play for, as if they just weren't interested. And I think we sort of fell into that trap in the first half, where it was just a case of well, a draw's a draw. We finished third unless Charlton banged 7 in, which I couldn't see. So it was a case of well, all right, we'll just play for a 0-0 draw. And then when they sort of, not necessarily against the run of play, but they did score, and that sort of woke us up and went, oh, hold on a minute, we need to play this to get third. And we stepped up a gear, and they just didn't have that gear to find. But the atmosphere seemed really strange as well. It just didn't. All you could hear was County fans. I think I heard the Wycombe fans when they scored, and there was nothing. It was like the 3 sides of the stadium were corporate. It just, you know what I mean? There was just nothing. People had been placed in the seats. There was no sort of, I mean, I wasn't at the ground. So was there any like singing areas or anything like we've got the Cheadle end, but is there anywhere that had a bit of atmosphere? Because it certainly didn't come across on the stream.
The only bit that was singing was the far side, wasn't it? Far side.
The goal. Standing end behind the other goal. A little bit of singing there. I guess that's where they would go. But
yeah,
I think the problem is, and we've sort of talked about this. When we're in the Cheadle end, we don't hear what's going on around the other ground, because the Cheadle end's roof is very similar to the Wycombe roof. I think Jimmy said this as well, that it's quite low, so it does hold the atmosphere really well. So even when we're in the Cheadle end, we struggle to hear the pop side and the railway end for their singing. So there could have been singing, but to us, that away stand at Wycombe is probably one of the best away stands for holding the atmosphere. And that's what it's all about. I've said this many a time before. If you're in somewhere like the railway end, it's dead hard because you can't. It just gets lost in the air, doesn't it? The atmosphere. So
it does. But I'll counter that with and Phil's sort of backed it up here. Phil Lloyd on the comments. I'll put it up in a sec. Don't forget they've got 3 sides of the ground. When teams come to Edgeley Park, I bet they can hear us because you've got the Cheadle end, and more often than not, the pop side as well. The pop side always sing, don't they? They've got an element of singing, and then when it's all going, then the Bagara stand join in, don't they? So you get all 3. With Wycombe, the 4th in the league at the time, there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. Yeah. It did feel all a bit prawn sandwich. I've got to say, it did. Apart from the far end, and Phil Lloyd says you could only hear the County fans on the TV, and the TV was probably where you were sat. Was it, Gareth?
Yeah, I was. So I was. If you were looking out towards the pitch from the from the away end, I was on your right hand side, about a third of the way along the pitch, and so I had a sort of earshot of the whole part of the ground. Both. And it was almost predominantly County fans making the noise, even when we were 1 down. Obviously it got even better as time went on. There was a little bit from the far end, but not that much. Yeah. I think they feel genuinely disappointed with how their season's sort of it hasn't petered out because it's not over yet. They could still, spring a surprise in the playoffs, but they must be fairly long odds now because of their recent form compared with us, with Orient and Charlton too.
And that's
absolutely, yes.
I don't understand why they rested Kone for it. You want him going into the playoffs firing, don't you? Is he coming back from an injury, or was he just genuinely rested for it? Because they said he ripped us apart at Edgeley Park.
Yeah, they said he was rested as a precaution, and I don't know whether that was a precaution about him getting injured against us, so not being available for the playoffs. But he scored again. If I've not got the right numbers, don't shoot me. But I think he scored twice in 10 games. He's tailed right off compared with what he was doing earlier in the season. He is, I think, the best player in League One that I've seen play against us this season, based on that game at Edgeley Park, we just couldn't deal with him.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll
talking
come
of-
back and spring a surprise, but they're gonna the whole team's really gonna have to I think sort of give themselves a big kick, really, if they're gonna do anything.
Yeah. And talking of best players in the league, Leyton Orient probably have, I won't say the best players in the league, but they've got a couple that are right up there if we move on to Leyton Orient. So having done the Oppo preview podcast earlier this evening, that'll be out later tonight or first thing in the morning. They look pretty good, don't they, Leyton Orient at the moment? They've had a poor start, but then came into the playoffs with a late run. And they've got this Kelman and Donnelly up front, who are both on loan, and Kelman's got 21 goals this season.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, I'll start with Waggy. You can start with the positivity train. How do you see these two matches going? Because we're going to cover both matches. We're not back till after the second leg. How do you see it going?
I think it'll be tight affair down there. I think it'll be a 2-1. I think we'll still win. I think they'll go 1-0 up and we'll rally and come back to 2-1. And then I think back at our place is going to be an absolute sellout. It's going to be absolutely bouncing. And I think that we'll beat them 3-1, 4-1 at home. Okay. I think we'll be really confident at home. But we've got a pretty good record down there, haven't we? Didn't we? We spoiled the party when they won League Two, didn't they? We beat them 3-0. I mean, maybe they were already on the beach when we played them, but we've won there the last 2 times that we played there. So I think we've got a good record there. So why can't we go there and beat them? They did look good when they played us earlier in the season, didn't they, at Edgeley Park? But again, things have changed. They've sort of snuck into the playoffs, which normally you'd say is one of the more dangerous teams because the way that they've snuck in. But they've got to fear us. We're the form team of the league. You know, what is it? 8 wins in 9 games, I think it is, or 9 in 10. So they're going to be fearful just as much of us, you know, as we are sort of them. But yeah, they're a pretty form team. But yeah, I think we'll win both, or maybe worst case scenario is get a draw at their place and then beat them at our place.
Very positive. Andy, what do you think? You going the same?
Yeah, well, obviously. Yes, we have to be wary, but like any team would be, it's the playoffs, and it's over 2 legs. So we are where we are for a reason. We're a damn good side when we get it right. Now, I'm going to quote Dave Challoner. If we just play us and concentrate on us, over the 2 games, we'll be absolutely fine. We may even lose the first game. But can you imagine Edgeley Park on Wednesday? It's just going to be a buzzer. And don't get me wrong, I don't think we'll lose the first game. I think it will be 2-1. And we'll win. But yeah, just concentrate on us. Try not to match up to them too much like we've done in the past and then change it straight away. Just play our game, play our strengths, and I think we'll be absolutely fine. I really do. I'm really confident. They are a good side. They are in good form, but we are the form team in the league, and they'll be looking over their shoulder just as much as we're having a little look over our shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I come to you, Gaz, there's a couple of comments in here, actually, and I won't flash them up, but I'll just say it. If you remember, when we beat them at their place 1-0, they were in a good run of form and we beat them at their place. Yep. I think it was the same for the 4-1 drubbing. We were in a good bit of form and they beat us 4-1 at ours. So there is that to consider as well. What do you think, Gaz, for the 2 legs? Confident?
It's the playoffs, isn't it? So in some ways, all previous form goes out the window. And the other thing I suppose about the playoffs is that they can be cagey affairs, particularly the first legs, which is why I'm really glad we're at home under the Edgeley lights for the second leg. I can see us going there and avoiding defeat, if I can put it that way. I mean, we could win. I was down there in February when we won. But after Woods scored, we had to withstand a lot of pressure from them. And on that day at Brisbane Road, Kelman missed an absolute sitter in the second half. Donnelly wasn't really. I mean, we were really wary of him before the match, and he didn't have a terribly good game. And the other thing that about Orient on that day was that they didn't have Omar Beckles, and Beckles is one of those players who seems to always play well against us. Did in League Two, and he certainly did it in the 4-1 defeat. That game at Edgeley Park I found was a bit of a strange one. I didn't think we played that badly that day. I thought they came and had a game plan and did well. But if you remember, I think we were 2-0 down at half time, and Jack Diamond I think got a goal early in the second half. And at that stage, I really thought for all the world that we were going to go on and win the game, and they just nicked it, and I don't think we would play the same against them as we did that day certainly at Edgeley Park. So my firm belief is that whichever of us and Orient wins will go through and win the whole playoffs. But they are a really good side. You've got to beware giving them too much space. I don't know if any of you watched the highlights, and a friend of mine who's a colleague of mine in my other work is a big Orient fan. He went to watch them win at Huddersfield, and he said the thing was that Huddersfield gave them so much space, and they just tore into them. Basically, we won't do that against them. I don't think we'll let them run as free and wild as some other. It's going to be, it's going to be tough. We haven't mentioned Ethan Galbraith, who's another great player. They've got goal scoring threats all around the pitch, and say the likes of Beckles can come up from defence and nod one in as well. And the captain Prattley, he can. We'll need to keep a careful eye on them all. But Charlie will have done his homework. He'll have a good game plan. But I think if I come back, got to get up at stupid o'clock to get down to London on Saturday morning as well. Lunchtime kickoff in London. But when I get back to Macclesfield on Saturday evening, if we manage to sneak a win, I'll be absolutely over the moon. But I'll be pretty pleased if we come away with a draw. And even a defeat, as Andy says, think back to when we played Salford 2 years ago. Lost 1-0 up there, wasn't the end of the world. We can definitely do the job at Edgeley.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff. Nice and positive. I like it. Here's one from TFR. Will it be a back three or a back four on Saturday? Because he kind of swaps chinks and changes it, doesn't he? I mean, he starts with a 5, goes to a 4, starts with a 4, goes to a 5. He's kind of got all the tools in the box, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But I think it's almost a back 4 with a winger stroke right wing back, isn't it? Because he starts with Torre, then he'll have, whether it's Pye and Hills, Pye or Horsfall, and then obviously say Connolly. But then we've always had sort of Fevs or Macca or Noyle. And it seems as soon as we get the ball, we're trying to get it down that side, and they just move across. So they create the back 4, and that just gives the right wing back the space to be able to get forward, which I didn't think we did a lot in the first half against Wycombe. And they changed that and pushed Fevs a bit forward and made him more, a lot more better. So I think it's always that. It's a very fluid. We might start with 3 centre-backs, but we will slip into a back 4 very quickly, depending if we're going forward or coming back. And as I say, it's Charlie all his subs now just seem to be making impacts, don't they? Every single one that's coming off the bench is making a difference to the thing. Like with Bailey, when he came off the bench a couple of weeks ago, was that it? Leighton Orient, he came off and had a brilliant second half. But then we started in the next game and he didn't look as good. And then he came on against Wycombe, didn't he? And he looked really good again as an impact player.
It was a little step over Will's goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 It was class, Bailey. Bailey
Yeah,
was
I like
absolutely
it.
brilliant.
I do like him, but I think, as you say, Raggy, I think bringing Noyle on was a great choice on Saturday at Wycombe, and Fev's just played so much better in the second half as a result.
Yeah,
difficult to we almost got an embarrassment of riches there. I mean, Horsfall was on the bench on Saturday. You've got Hills, who just oozes class. Ethan Pye he's Ethan Pye, isn't he? And Connolly doesn't have a bad game wherever you put him, really. It's and Torre is a good left-sided defender. We could have a debate about his attributes as a wing-back, but he's a good defender.
Yep.
Can I answer to Charlton Live, please?
Yeah, so we've got a question here in from Charlton Live, our friends over at Charlton Live, and they say, "Are we lads pleased to have avoided Charlton in the semis? Are we?"
So, yeah, Charlton Live, we don't care. If we're going up this season, we want to play the best, and if we're on our game, we will beat you like we will beat Leyton Orient. It would be a good matchup in the final, though. So just. You concentrate on your game and get in there to the final. We'll concentrate on our game, and we'll see you at Wembley.
Yeah, concentrate on a well-rested Kone. There you go. That's what they need to concentrate on, isn't it?
But listen, Charlton Live, you've got a very good team. We've had two contests that couldn't separate our teams. The one at Edgeley was I don't know whether it was because it was a lunchtime kickoff in front of the cameras or whatever it was. It was quite a cagey affair. They didn't play Matt Godden in that game either, which I was really surprised about. So I don't know whether it was almost as if they'd come for a point. But no, I agree with Andy. I think County Charlton would be a tremendous final. Bring it on.
Mm. Yeah. Does part of you feel, though, I mean, if we got Charlton in the final, it would be 45,000 Charlton fans, and then how many would we get? It'd be like Burnley against County in 94 again, wouldn't it?
As long as we've got a different referee, I wouldn't mind.
Well, yeah, this is true.
We're not on referee gate already, are we?
No, that's
really
it was a long time. It was a long time ago.
That's a completely separate podcast in itself.
You could do a whole podcast review on the referees this season, couldn't you?
Should we do it? The next season, should we do Ref Watch, extra podcast, get someone to do it?
Yeah.
Don't need to, because it'll be like, you might as well do it as a YouTube short. He was shit, full stop.
I have to think back to the time when I used to I used to be the county official that marked the referees in the National League North at our games, away games.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So because the club secretary at the time was Mark Lockyer, and he always used to take care of it at the Edgeley Park games. But for some of the away games, he just said, "Can you do it for me?" And I used to have to mark them, and there was some. I mean, we have come a long way. I know we're not always happy with the referees we get in League One, and some of them have made some astonishingly bad decisions this season. But these things tend to even out. We've had a few good ones as well that we don't tend to talk about very much. But back in the National League days, God, they're really something to behold.
Does that influence how you watch the game then? If you've got to mark the referee, are you more concentrating on the referee than the actual game, or are you just going off what decisions he makes and if he's made?
I mean, the things you had to mark from memory were about general allowing of the game to flow, getting the big. Did they get the big decisions right? Yes or no? Or to what degree out of 10? So it was stuff that you didn't. It was stuff that you could take in as you were watching it.
Right.
It wasn't like being a proper referee's assessor where you had to write up a big report. They were sort of marks out of 10 basically, and for about 8 different categories so far as I remember. We had one or two. Great.
I remember a Chorley game back in the National League North, I think it was. Me and a few friends were in the pub around the corner from Chorley, and we got chatting to a lovely couple, got chatting to them, and we were talking about the referee, because we've had him in a previous game, and I was going on being me, bull in a china shop, referee shy, blah, 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 blah. He cost us the game the last time we had him. And then we got chatting to this couple, and we're just saying, so who, County, Chorley? And they were just like, no, we're just watching our son. Like, oh, right, who did he play for, County or Chorley? He was like, no, he's the referee. I was like, oh, my days. But to be fair, they took it in good humour. But yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Only
you, Andy. Only you.
I mean, sort of off topic slightly, but back in the days when I was just a paying fan, went to Highfield Road to watch County at Coventry, and unusually, Luke Beckett was having a really poor game for us. And I mean, Luke's up there with County royalty, really. He was a great striker for us, but he couldn't hit a barn door on this particular afternoon, and so we've given him a little bit of stick. It turned out we were sitting right behind his mum. And he was going to turn around and told us.
Leave my Luke alone. Leave him alone. Love it.
Bless. Excellent. Before we move on to getting the reses, is there anything we need to discuss from an admin perspective? We have I know that the TIFO achieved its target. I spoke to Dan Love, who's my cousin's son. He's organising it with a friend. Was going to plug it on this show. I'd agree to do that, but they've raised the target now. So going to be a TIFO
reason why we're going to win
Wednesday. Because we've got a TIFO. I'm not sure.
Well, no, because it'll raise the atmosphere, doesn't it? You think about the TIFOs that we had back in the National League and stuff like that. It really raised the crowd before the game got started. So that's another reason that we're going to win, because they really G the crowd up.
Yeah.
I can tell you another reason why we're going to win is because I'm going to wear my birthday gifted Yellowstone t-shirt, which never seems to be off my back. But every time we've worn it, or I've worn it, since my birthday on the 2nd of April, we've not lost in it. So unlike Jimmy wearing, Lucky Wrexham scarves, I wear just...
No, he's got a magic hat. He's got a magic hat.
Oh, magic hat. Sorry, magic hat.
I can't wait for it to be 25 degrees with him sweating
with his hat on. Yeah.
Have you ever met Jimmy? Have you ever met Jimmy in the courtyard? It could be 30 degrees and he'd be there with 4 coats, a scarf and a hat and a pair of gloves, and a thermal flask for some hot cocoa. The guy walks around with his own radiator.
What else to mention? Under 15s won the Floodlit Cup, didn't they? Was that right? Am I getting that right? Against 3-2 against Bournemouth. So well done to them. Fantastic achievement. I don't think there's anything else to mention. We're coming to the end of the season now, aren't we? I guess just to mention about the podcast before we get on to getting reses, we will be taking a break after the season's ended. So we're going to do a show after the Wembley appearance when we get there.
Yay.
Fingers crossed. And then we'll probably take a break, but we will do a couple of special guest shows to fill the gap. And there will be a Wednesday show. We'll be running all of those special episodes that we did throughout this year on those Wednesdays. Just to give us a bit of a break. Hopefully that's okay for everybody. And then we'll be back mid-July-ish to start it all over again in whatever division we're in. League One, hopefully the Championship. in the championship.
the
Oh yeah, the ladies as well. Sorry, the ladies won the their cup as well, which I think they've retained for like the third year or something. I'm sure somebody will let us know about that. So well done to the ladies as well. Let's hope the men can achieve the same by winning the playoffs. Happy days. Right, shall we do getting reses?
Yes.
Get in your reses.
Come on, get in reses.
Get in
Come on,
your reses.
get in
That's
reses.
rubbish. Get in reses.
I'm not having that. Get in reses.
Right. Andy, you've normally got two. Oh no, you have got two. Are you gonna do your football one first if you've got a football one?
I normally do my football one, don't I? If I have a football one. Anyway, so the first one is the stewards at Wycombe. And just general. Well, I remember this bit. Just general stewarding as well, and sort of seating policy. If you're going to have a seating policy, any club, stick to it. Don't halfway through people get into seats, start winging what you're going to decide you want people to do. So I was sat in my seat and I was asked to move because a steward came up and said, that's not your ticket. So I'm like, right, okay. So I moved, went 3 steps up and asked another steward, where's my seat? And he went, the seat's there. Just sit there. So I was like, right, okay, I'll sit there. And then another chap and or 3 other guys came up and they then moved us. And I had a bit of not an argument with this guy, but I'd been moved already. He's obviously been moved already. And we're just like, and the same steward that told me to sit there had told this guy to find his seat. And I probably didn't explain myself very well on Saturday, to be fair.
No. Do you remember it though? As are you getting it right? I mean,
probably not, but something like that. It's something on the lines of that. But it's happened to me even when I've not had a drink at a game, to be fair, where some stewards will say one thing, some stewards will say another thing. Just if you're going to have a seating plan, then it has to be either sit in your seats or it's a free fall for everybody. Telling one person one thing and then another person another thing, it's just going to create an argument between 2 sets of fans or the same sets of fans. So, yeah, the just bad seating organisation it can get in the reses. I would put it down. And to the guy that I wouldn't say it was an argument because we didn't care. We won the game. We finished third. Nobody cares at the end. But I'm sorry if I came across heated, should I say. It wasn't intentional. I was just a bit pissed off that I was told to sit anywhere after being moved once, just as you were as well. So, yeah.
Well, this is one thing I don't see anything of, really. What the away stewards are like. What have they been like generally in this season?
Yeah, all right. Generally speaking, yeah.
Well, I think
don't
Mark Morley makes the point there is aways a sit anywhere. Only awkward people want designated seats at away grounds. But it's not necessarily awkward people. It's people, if they want to sit in your own seat, then you get there early and then you can sit in your own seat. Yeah. John Bilsbury likes to sit in his seat, but he wants to sit in specific seats because that's where he wants to sit. So he makes sure that he gets there and sits there early. Then you've got no arguments. If you see, like I say, an empty seat, go and stand there. If somebody comes up and goes, "Oh, mate, this is my seat," it's like, well, just stand behind me. This seat's behind me.
Well, we had this conversation after the Palace game, and we decided that the rule is based on our podcast. If you're not in your seat by the time I get there, which by law is either 3:05 or 1 minute to 3, because I'm still in the bar, then I'm sorry, it's free fall.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or as you say, and I think Notts County last season they were big on it, wasn't they? But all the stewards were pointing everybody into the right direction, so it was throughout the ground. So as you say, it's either just let it go or make sure that everybody's on the same page.
I don't know. For that game, I had Russ with me, so I was able to just follow him. To be honest.
Yeah, because we sat in our right seats, didn't we? Did I drive that? I think I drove to that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you drove that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair dues getting the reses. Yeah. Gaz, what have you got to get in the reses?
Yeah. Football related or general sport related?
It's entirely up to you.
Okay, well,
you have both. You have
two things,
I've
and they're
not got
both
one.
they're two things, and they're both sport related, and they're both, I think, about the increasing Americanization of sporting events. One is flame jets. I can't flame jets when, particularly when you're walking out, or the players are walking out at St Andrews in Birmingham on a December Tuesday night, and they've got flame jets shooting up in the air. It just doesn't really befit the occasion, does it? And I think it's complete, really naff part of it. We'll get, when we're at Wembley, we'll see them, and we'll have to put up with them. And it's all part of the experience, I suppose. But it's not one that I subscribe to at all. The other one at sporting events generally, but it sort of particularly affects me as a journalist, is the incredibly loud volume at which music is played when plays not playing. I just at Wycombe, it was quite a complicated report to write, because normally I have my report ready to be published on the whistle. Probably about 10 minutes before the end, it's more or less ready, because that, you can tell that County are going to win or they're going to lose or whatever's going to happen. There was quite a lot of late drama really to sort of write up, and at full time, I really needed to have a careful read through it, because there was quite a lot of information in there, 900 odd words, and I couldn't for the life of me concentrate on reading this report, because the music was just tearing out, and it's just unbelievably bad. But as a spectator as well, my wife and I went to the Davis Cup in Manchester, and between changeovers, they've got. I'm a big tennis fan and play tennis myself. You don't need to fill the void with this incredibly loud music. This is probably me getting old, but they really seem to have cranked up the volume in recent years on this sort of thing. So I think all of that sort of thing for me can get in reses. I know I haven't said that in a very voice, but you know what I mean.
Agreed.
No,
we
can.
I
Yeah. Definitely the loud music bit. We've had it on previous pods. That's my get in the reses. Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, yours is the courtyard, though, isn't it? To be fair.
Oh yeah.
But it is, and they are good singers. Don't get me wrong; they're very talented, but it's too bloody loud to have to walk away. But I agree with you. Wrexham on Saturday in that away end when they were blaring that music, it was just, and they stop it. They stop it on the kickoff whistle. That's when they stop it. It's like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it's probably done on purpose to drown us out, I guess, in it to sort of to stamp us out a bit, but certainly not afterwards. But yeah, I can definitely get in the reses. Waggy, have you got one?
No, I've not got one. No, sorry.
Fair enough. Andy, do you want me to start sharing my screen, Andy?
Hang on. So my getting the reses. Yeah, you can do actually. Yeah, go on. Share your screen, Russ. Share your screen.
Right, go on, and you start talking about it.
So basically, my second getting the reses is the word serving suggestion on labels, on food labels. Okay, so if you can see, and for the audio listeners, I've taken a picture of some teriyaki sauce, and it says the words serving suggestion. There's another one as well, which is a packet of like Oreo cereal, and it says serving suggestion. And basically, I'm that sad because when I bought that teriyaki sauce, we're like serving suggestion. It doesn't even tell you on there how you distribute this sauce. You just pour it in when it's cooking to heat it through, or do you pour it in on cold, or what?
You need to pour it on a tiger. You need to pour it on a tiger.
Exactly. So I googled the word. Why do these things have serving suggestions? And do you know what it is? It's basically so companies don't mislead people. So if you see, for example, some rice, yeah, And on the packaging, on the advertisement, it's a bowl of rice with carrots in there and peas. And all you're buying is boil in the bag rice. These companies have to put those words, serving suggestion, just in case you think that boil in the bag rice is coming with a plate, with some carrots, with some peas. No, you know.
What, you mean it doesn't? Oh, fuck it. I'm not buying any boil in the bag rice then.
The cereal as well. They put it on cereal as well because they don't want you to think that you're getting a bowl with milk in it. You're buying dried cereal, for fuck's sake.
What's the serving suggestion for Oreos? Don't you just put them on a plate or something?
No, but it's advertisement. It's so it doesn't show it as false advertisement. Because on the picture of, say, cornflakes, it's got a picture of a tiger. They have to put it on there because no, you don't get a tiger in the box, do you? You know, or a chicken, for example. So it just really annoys me that we live in this world where people, not everyone, some very, very small minority of people think that the picture on the box is how it's going to look when you've cooked it or served it or done whatever. And then these companies have to put on the tiniest writing of serving suggestion. So that can get in the reses.
Yeah, totally get the residents that this is all, as you say, wasn't this sort of stemmed from a woman who burnt her mouth drinking a coffee from McDonald's because it didn't say caution hot on the cup many, many years ago? I remember there being a case of someone, you're drinking coffee that's just been served to you and you burn your mouth on it. So it's like, right, I'm going to sue the company because they didn't tell me it was going to be hot.
So serving suggestion there, you put ice cubes.
Serving suggestion there, ice cubes.
I heard once that an American couple sued a camper van company because I can't remember where I read this, but they basically because they didn't, they thought when you put something on cruise control, it drives the car for you. And it veered off into a ditch or off the side of the road or something.
Got up to make a brew.
I'm like, yeah. Like, what?
Or you could drive it on water. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, wings come out and it just floats you over to the island that you've seen on. It's like, you know, James Bond where it's suddenly like a submarine underwater. It's like, what is wrong with people? It's like,
brilliant. Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of stupidity. That's what I'll say. Just a bit of a side story. I remember on these things. I remember a sign. Two things. One sign in the canteen at an RAF station said, "All day breakfast served till 11 o'clock." And then another one. There was this like soap, this like special mechanic soap, you know, for aircraft mechanics. And it said in the toilet, it said, "Wash hands after using soap." Like, right, okay,
why?
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of toxin in it, but you just walked in and going, "Wash hands after using soap." Yeah,
it's because it's possibly something like Swarfiga, which has like, as you say, solvents and stuff. So if you just leave that on your hands, it will start burning them.
Yeah, I get that. But I get that. But it's a funny sign.
That's boring. That's such a boring reply. And so
engineers reply.
Just what? You just wash them. That's why. Be careful talking about breakfast there as well, Russ. You'll have Jimmy and Dan knocking on.
Oh, I know, yeah. Let's think about having breakfast together, haven't they? It's a bit weird.
Well, maybe not together, but you know.
Yeah.
A candlelit breakfast.
Let's go through some of the other getting the res. There's not that many tonight. So Mark Morley again, Central Line in London can get in reses. How dare they be closed with the mighty county in town? But that said, loads of people came in with loads of knowledge about London, about how you can go round it and still get there. I mean, I'm sure you could probably hire a Boris bike, couldn't you, and get there? But anyway, are they still called Boris bikes, or are they something else now? But anyway,
what? Just hang on, back up. What's a Boris bike?
The electric bikes that you can get in London.
Why was it called a Boris bike?
When Johnson was mayor of London.
Mayor.
All right, okay. Sorry. Yeah, didn't know that.
But there are, so it's a real faff with the Central Line on Saturday. I'm going down by train, but I think you can get across. If you're arriving at Euston, you can go up to Black Horse Road or Seven Sisters and get on the Suffragette line, which is an overground, and that'll take you to Leighton Midland Road. I did that last time and it worked all right. You've got a slightly longer walk to the stadium from there than you would have from Leighton Tube, but it's still takes you more or less where you need to be.
I'm getting an Uber to Russ's house.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Matt Brady, Corey's friend can get in the reses. Unconfirmed that it was Corey's friend, I think. But,
this was the guy. So you must have seen this at first hand. This is the guy in the United shirt, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We heard from the press box. We heard a little bit of anti-United chanting. We didn't know why, and then read about it obviously on the plans for.
Did he come in late as well?
Say again.
Did he come in late? He wasn't there at the
so it was compounded. I think there was lots of it. It was bad enough that he was in a full United tracksuit. That was bad enough. I think because he'd come in late, was walking across the front, filming himself probably for his TikTok or something, thinking it was a joke. You know when Americans come over and they think things are a joke and they're not. It's not a joke, mate. This is proper. And even when he was confronted, I think he still thought it was a joke for a bit. Like, oh, this is okay. No, it's really not okay. And then he got escorted to the side. I don't think he got thrown out though. I've been reliably informed that he stayed in the ground. So it was a bit of a let off. I don't know any more than that.
I think they gave him a Burnley shirt to wear instead of something.
But yeah. It's just misguided, isn't it? It's not knowing the culture basically of our club and football generally. That you think you can do that and it's okay, and then parade thinking it's great to film it on TikTok. It's not. It's you're making yourself look like a right.
It's being like a glory hunter. Well, I wouldn't say glory hunter because United are shit at the minute, but you know what I mean. It's that Premier League mentality, isn't it? When we've talked about a few times is when you get asked who do you support? Oh, Stockport County. Oh, who's your Premier League team? No.
Yeah.
No. There isn't a Premier League team. It's Stockport County. That's
even when we're a non-league side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just like fuck off. And it's like you get it a few times. It's like, it's really nice that you support your local team, but who do you support properly? It's like, what? Just go away. Just go away before I say something really derogatory at you.
And then another one, I'll check the others in a minute. Everyone's singing Anderson name wrong can get in the reses. It's not Anderson. And I've heard people call him Anderson as well in earshot. So that, it is Anderson. Just say Brecky or Benny. It's Benny. Benno, is it?
Benno. I think he likes being called. Yeah. I mean, I have to say when I mentioned him as my favourite current player, I should have said something about the mispronunciation because we get to hear it as well and think, oh come on, no, it's not difficult, is it?
Well, there's that many like opposition commentators that can't pronounce half of the names in our team. Even Wooten, they can't get.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, the long-standing Hinchcliffe as well. Yeah.
Hinchcliffe, yeah.
Yeah. They can all get in the reses. And then one final one from our friend Dave, friend of the podcast. People that would rather go on Facebook and ask when are the tickets going on sale rather than just going having a look themselves. Yeah, we've had this one a million times. Yeah. Yeah, one of my favourites is when the club posts something like, something like Carabao Cup drinks, and then someone will reply and go, Where do I pick up my tickets for Saturday? You know, something like that. Like they're going to get an answer from the Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had a reply from County on anything that I've ever replied, asking them something, a genuine question. I think my latest one was, where's my refund for that ticket kiosk thing where you could buy your pints pre-match? And then I was sent on a wild goose chase, and in the end I gave up and just went and bought a couple of pints. But yeah, it's just like, you know, I got to the bar downstairs in the courtyard and we're like, we don't even know what this is. What is it? Like, great. There's a tenner loss.
And then I guess finally, just a quick word on, I mean, the tickets have gone on sale yesterday and today. There's a bit of furore online about number of booths, ticket windows being open and things like that. I'm not too up on it. We've got a message here from Alan Rowe, a friend of the show, Alan Rowe. That rhymes. I like that. Quad for ticket today. 5 windows in the ticket office. Long queue. 2-hour wait. Jesus, only 2 windows open. Why not 5? Yeah, it's a valid question. You gotta say that.
And my link didn't work to buy them online.
Yeah, a lot of people said that today. The links
yeah,
didn't work.
I pressed the link. It took me to it, put me barcode in for my season ticket, came up and showed upper tier 3 sold out. And it didn't have my tickets or anything. So I pressed go to checkout and it went, you need to update your amount. I'm like, well, I can't select anything. But then I left it till about 2:00. Went back on it, did the same thing from the link in the email, and there my three tickets popped up for my season ticket.
Right.
So, but yeah,
it's just a poor website. It's such a poor website. So I didn't have any issues selecting my seat. It just went straight in there. It came to when it was checkout, and it said sign in. Why do I need to sign in? Can I just pay for my seat? So I signed in. I'm sorry, we don't recognize this email address. So it's the difference between Gmail and Google Mail. So then I put Google Mail in, and then it times me out. It recognizes me, times me out, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's because you've pre-held the seat and it's now stuck in the ether or whatever."
Yes,
and I'm
somebody
like,
else has got your seat.
This is just like why do you need me to sign in? Because you've already got all my details on my barcode number. Let me just pay for that ticket, please. Oh,
It'll be brilliant next season because we're changing ticket issue.
We're getting a new one. We are. We're getting a new ticket.
Yeah. And leagues.
Like it. I like it. Yeah, well, that's a great place to finish, mate. Just one thing to say. Nigel 6446 came and said hello to us on Saturday. So really nice to meet you, Nigel. You've been watching and listening to us for a long, long time. So it was great to put the name to the face finally. Really enjoyed that. So thanks for coming and saying hello. Good stuff. We're out of time. I did want to talk to you guys about match reporting and how that all came about. Can we get you back on to talk about that? Would that be okay?
Yeah, yes, of course. Be delighted to.
Excellent. So thanks for coming on, guys, and being our first special fan guest.
I'm honoured. Thank you.
There you go. Andy, see you Saturday. Waggy, you're welcome to come, but see you Wednesday probably.
I'll see you Wednesday. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
My wife is away this weekend, so there's no way I'll be in any fit state to get behind the wheel of any car.
Get an Uber.
Fair enough.
I'm not getting an Uber from Liverpool. Why waste 50 quid on an Uber to Liverpool when I can spend that on booze?
Because I'll be there.
Exactly. Even more a reason.
Right, gents. See you later.
Cheers.
See you later.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts, and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content, and more. You can find us on X, Facebook, and Instagram Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow County fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County!